Alright, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about an interview that actually happened with IGN in China. So Dokkan, shout out to him, he is going through this specifically, so we're just going to see what's going on with it. And of course this is news, so we need to cover it just because it is a big thing. But basically what's going on is they were just asking in the questions like what are the main criteria that they were led to choose the playable characters. The director that has been showing us all of the Sparking Zero work is basically saying like the main criteria for selecting playable characters are primarily based on how active a character is in the original work. So when you have all of Dragon Ball, you have Super, you have Z, of course, all of those characters that are fresh and new and you're seeing them a lot, those are the reasons why they chose them. So of course all the Z Warriors will be in there, you're gonna see all the Super Saiyans and all the good stuff there. So that's how they're deciding to choose who they want on the roster. And of course Super is a huge deal now, so they're going to show everything Super related. But going into this, the more the characters appear, the more likely they are to be included in our selection list. Furthermore, since the plots of previous games in the series mainly revolved around the World Martial Arts Tournament, so I'm not sure if that's based on like just everything that's happened throughout the show completely. They are talking about who showed up in the World Martial Arts Tournament. I'm not 100% sure. But here they're also saying we also took into consideration popular characters from the early, mid, and late stages of Dragon Ball GT. And in my opinion, I think that doesn't make sense because we haven't seen anything in GT at least. I think they probably did have an error, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get into an error. But early, middle, and late stages should be Z. It should not be GT here. So remember, that could be just an error, and we'll get into that. But when we look at specifically the characters we've seen so far, we have early Goku, we have mid Goku, we have late Goku. So I think that's what this means. And then we do have some people confirming what the error is if we look into translations. So shout out to Enomis, he actually translated this, and basically he was saying that there might have been an error on the part of IGN China in reporting the answer. So he said that other Chinese media is presenting that response differently. So when we look at other things such as the actual IGN Chinese media that they talked about, they do say it specifically what is said right here, like in the previous works developed the story around the World Martial Arts Tournament. So some popular characters from the early, middle, and late stages of Dragon Ball GT will also be taken into consideration. And I think this is translated wrong. It should be just Z, and obviously going into Super and so on. So there is that. And then we did have someone who actually did discuss this under here. Shout out to this person. I can't read that obviously, but he was basically saying that it is asking about the main characters and how they get decided to added. First, they add characters that have appeared in the most in scenes. In addition, it will continue on what happened in previous Budokai games. So popular characters in the early, middle, and late stages of GT will be taken into consideration. So basically, it means GT isn't a main focus. Rather, they'll be looking at popular characters and appearances in past Budokai games. So there is one thing I did want to note. Remember that the GT characters really showed in Budokai 3. That's when we finally saw Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Gogeta, and stuff like that. If we're going to go the same route, then yes, we will see GT, and probably in as a base part of the game and not like a DLC. But we'll see how that goes. We also did get in Tenkaichi 1, we also did get GT characters. Now it was limited, and I think it is going to be limited based on what's being said. So the last thing it says is it means that technically GT isn't shoved out the window entirely. It all depends on the popularity and background of Budokai Tenkaichi. Now remember, GT is huge. Everyone loves Super Saiyan 4. Everyone loves Gogeta. Everyone loved Baby and all of that stuff. So I did want to go over one last thing before we end off the video, and it's the roster for Budokai Tenkaichi 1. So when we got it in PS2, so we're gonna go off real quick. So this is just a video that I found on YouTube, so shout out to this creator. Basically what I want to go over is you'll see in this is the Tenkaichi 1, by the way. So we have Super Saiyan 4 Goku here. We can scrub through it real quick, and we can see that we're gonna have like you have Majin Vegeta and stuff like that. And then we also get Super Saiyan 2 obviously, and then Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So two GT characters right there, right? And then when you go across the whole thing, you'll see right here we have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta right there, so that's 3 GT characters in Tenkaichi 1. And then if we go a little bit more, you'll actually see that we get to the only 2 that were really put in for some reason in this game, at least. If we keep going just at the end, so you'll see Baby Vegeta here, so that's 4 GT characters. And then the last one is going to be Super 17. So 5 GT characters were in Tenkaichi 1. So you can consider that as one of the main focuses that they could do. Because if Sparking Zero is the first series of the new Tenkaichi series, basically, that they're making, then we could possibly see only like 4 to 5 GT characters. I can already see Super Saiyan 4 Goku being in it, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and most likely Baby, just because Baby was one of the bigger characters in the show. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know until things are announced, and obviously we have a couple more months left, so we'll probably see that happen in the next few months, probably in July, when we get more stuff from V-Jump and all that good stuff. We'll see. At the end of the day, we don't know, and I'll continue covering the news as much as possible, but for now, that's what we have for news. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys are ready for Sparking Zero, and if you guys want GT characters, who do you want from there?